Well, we have the return of NXT UK after many months. They haven't been operational since the start of the pandemic. But also, we're going to talk about the Road to Lion's Brain Crown, which is a very brand new tournament. I can't wait to review all of this for all of you guys. So, all of that is right now coming up on Deleted WrestleZone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted WrestleZone, all things pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, promotions, matches, wrestlers, championships, the whole enchilada. I am your host, J-Rod here. So before I start reviewing NXT UK and the New Japan Strong Road to Lion's Break Crown, I want to give you guys some updates that came out recently. As you know, there's been a lot of talk about Melina Perez, as we know her from WWE, circulating that they revealed that she signed with WWE, but apparently the whole rumors were turned out to be false. And the same thing that happened with Ricochet, where there were stories about Ricochet maybe leaving WWE because his contract expires by January of 2021. Now, I don't know where these rumors are coming from or who starts them, but sometimes we need to know more about the source to confirm it. Now, if you have connections with promotions where they're from, or you have direct connections to the individual themselves, that's where normally that comes in. But however, certain people seems to get information wrong or misheard or misread. However, the whole thing turned out to be, it's really not quite clear. But the question is, if WWE were going to sign Melina again, there is a little problem that I might add. The thing is this: Melina hasn't been there for quite some time since we've seen the certain reunions and all that. But recently we have seen her with NWA for a while. We know was supposed to be in a three-way match with Thunder Rosa and Allison Kay for the NWA Women's Championship, but that thing was canceled because they were supposed to have it at the Crockett Cup event that's supposed to take place last April, but they had to postpone it because of it. As for Ricochet, we do know that he's amongst those that Vince McMahon buried, but we don't know for sure. I know he said he has no intentions to leave. He knows he's thriving. We can see a big star in him, but it's Vince who we know for a fact that he doesn't see anything good in him. We now see more talent coming up on that. So I think that's pretty much it that I'm going to reveal. So right now, let's get started with NXT UK. Alright, finally we get NXT UK. Now, if you guys are not fans of the NXT UK brand, I don't blame you, but the entire environment with NXT UK is a lot more different than the NXT here in the US, which is normally done in Florida. Ever since the pandemic happened, we haven't heard anything. We do know certain stars were released from NXT UK because of the speaking out movement. I'm talking about guys like El Ligero, Travis Banks. There's still no word about Jordan Devlin because we do know he was amongst those that was spoke out against about allegations. Joe Coffey, from what I understand, he was suspended because there were allegations against him. Who else have I noticed? Travis Bank as well. I think I might have mentioned. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, there was that whole ordeal that was taking place with them on that, and also we haven't heard when they were coming back, but rumors were surfacing little by little about what they were planning to do. We do know that Imperium members Eichner and Barthel have made appearances at the regular NXT brand in Florida, so but they will be making their return. I'll get to that in a bit. They have a new location where the doors were opened to them by BT Sports. A really nice studio, but the only difference is with this, as we have recently seen, NXT are using talent that are currently either training at the performance center or wrestlers who were not booked on NXT. You know, we seen them on NXT, but they're not booked. So we're not seeing none of that, but they're using like live crowd effects. I don't know for sure. I'm just giving you guys the feel what has been sounding before I start reviewing the entire show. But yeah, that's what they've been doing the entire time. It's very unusual, but I think I don't know if they were trying to figure out how they can make this more of a live show, because with no people giving the cheers, the boos, the this is awesome, or the holy shit type of thing. That's something that's been missing. But however, we'll talk about the whole show. Now, it started out with one of the assistant executive manager, or executive general manager, or what is Sid Scala. He was about to give his announcement about whatever that was happening. I'm assuming it had something to do with the Heritage Cup, but I'll get to that in a bit. But he was interrupted by the Russian wrestler Ilya Dragunov. Now, if you guys know, Ilya Dragunov was the winner of a battle royal that took place before the pandemic hit. Ilya Dragunov is set to face Walter for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. So that is something that we do know. But he's been demanding Sid to give him a fight. Basically, he's like saying, I'm a cage animal. We haven't heard anything from any of the wrestlers from the UK, but I do know for a fact that they've been training, try to ensure they stay in good shape, but we don't know how the ring rust was because they haven't been making appearance. But at the same time, while he was talking to Sid about getting himself into a fight, here comes Noam Dar, who's being a cocky SOB, trying to get attention. Now, Noam Dar is amongst the few wrestlers that are set to be in the Heritage Cup tournament. So instead, he pushed Ilya Dragunov's fingers and his buttons, that type of thing. And it kind of started a feud. So basically, Sid Scala decided to make their main event Dragunov versus Dar, and it's going to be an interesting match. So that will be the main event of the night. Now, first match of the night since the return of NXT UK is Gallus members Mark Coffey and Wolfgang facing off Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan. Now, this is a very unusual duo with Williams and Jordan because they hardly put together, but their chemistry, I have to say, this match did show a bit more of certain wrestlers that don't have a chemistry. You see, when it comes to tag team wrestling, there's a chemistry that has been built upon for years. Like, you look at guys like the Road Warriors, the Young Bucks, FTR, those type of people. Those are the ones that develop a good development when they're growing together. But this match was amazing to see. You see two huge guys facing guys who are quick on their feet, but we don't know for sure if they have the strength. But I enjoyed this match. Excuse me. But it was great to see it. But however, the match ended exactly how I expected. Gallus picked up the victory and they move on. But however, post-match, as you know or don't know, Gallus members Mark Coffey and Wolfgang are the current NXT UK Tag Team Champions. When they were out doing their little pose thing as they normally would, out of a sudden we get people coming left and right who they know will be coming after their titles. The first people was Andrews and Webster, the former NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Then there's The Hunt, Pretty Deadly, and these two other guys I don't know. And then of course they put on a Titantron, Imperium members Eichner and Barthel. So basically, Gallus now knows that there's a target on their back, and there are potential competitors that will do whatever it takes to win those titles. So the real question is, who will be the lucky ones to face them first? Now, there's some good talent there, but my money will say Imperium will be, because they've been the dominant force. They've already been the NXT Tag Team Champions, but they lost it to, what's their name? To Breezango, but I would say they would be the most likely ones to be the lucky ones to face them. Now, the next thing we have is this brand new guy who wants Walter named Saxon Moxie. He wants a piece of him. So I don't ever heard of this guy, but he seems like one of those guys like he has like this hair like a bit longer like Charles Manson, but that's kind of interesting. But I can't wait to see that. Now, we had the next thing in-ring promo by the current NXT UK Women's Champion Kaylee Ray. Now, as you know, she has been the longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion on that very brand. She defeated Toni Storm for the title. She's been successful maintaining it, but now she's going up against someone who used to know, who knew her better, who used to be friends with her, and of course Piper Nevins. Now, Kaylee Ray always been the dominant one in the NXT UK brand, but however, Piper Nevins reminded her on every occasion who was the one that beaten her in Japan, who's beaten her outside of the UK. That is like the key thing. Even though Kaylee Ray will never admit that, but she's 100% confident that she could retain the title from Piper Niven on their match coming up the following week. So I'm excited to see that. So we don't know for sure if Kaylee Ray will remain as the NXT UK Women's Champion or we will get a new champion. So that is something we gotta wait and see when that happens. Now, the next match, we have a women's match. We have Isla Dawn versus Aoife Valkyrie. Now, they have crossed paths before the pandemic, but Isla felt like she needed to, find a redemption for the losses she had with Valkyrie, and it's kind of amazing how it turned out. So this was a hard-hitting match. Now, Isla Dawn seems like she was trying to be smart, trying to figure out what not to do that made her lose the first time. It's pretty amazing how certain wrestlers can do that. But was it enough? Answer that question, no. So the result is still the same. Aoife Valkyrie won, and I was amazed. I like Aoife Valkyrie. She has a unique sense of style, even techniques. I'm excited to see. Hopefully we get to see her down the line to pursue the NXT UK Women's Championship. So we'll just wait and see how far they'll go with her. Now, as you may have heard recently, WWE developed a new tournament that they're going to have for the NXT UK brand called the Heritage Cup. It's an 8-man tournament that will determine who will be in this one. So here are the people who have been announced that are going to be involved. A-Kid, Dave Mastiff, Noam Dar, what's his name? Flash Morgan Webster, Joseph Connor, Alexander Wolf, and Trent Seven. So we already have 7, but there's a wild card involved. So it's still unclear who is this wild card. Now, my assumption is there's going to be a match for a wild card to be involved. Now, who could be? It could be anyone. But right now, it's who do I think could win it? I don't know for sure. But I can speculate maybe 3 of them, in my personal opinion. I would love to see. There's Dave Mastiff. He's one huge dude. He seems like he could do it. Then there's Alexander Wolf of Imperium. He seems like perfectly, because if he wins, it would make a perfect statement for Imperium of their dominance they've always shown in NXT UK. And then, of course, there's Trent Seven. So that is something I know for a fact. With Trent, he's been around. Even though with Mustache Mountain, I can't wait to see that. But yeah, now let's jump into the main event on this one. It's Noam Dar versus Ilya Dragunov. As you know, Noam Dar picked the wrong person to pick on. So it was a hard-hitting match. But much of this match was dominant by Noam Dar. I'd never seen him this dominant before. But the pain that Dragunov was obtaining was giving him strength. No matter how much, let's say Dar broke his arm, but somehow he was able to get up and try to continue fighting. But it was a great match. But the one thing that could have cost Dragunov the match was the interference of Imperium member Alexander Wolf. As you know, Dragunov will have an opportunity to face Walter for the NXT UK Championship. But however, if Dar was able to beat him in this match, that means he may not be capable of facing Walter. But however, it did not go exactly as planned for Wolf, even Noam Dar, so Dragunov picked up the victory. But as soon as he won the match, here comes the in-ring general himself, Walter, showing him that he is coming for him. You know, that he's been unbeatable the entire time, ever since he became the NXT UK champion. So this is going to be interesting. So, are we going to see Dragunov take the title off of Walter's arms, or Walter will retain? We just got to wait and see what's going to happen. So that is it right now for NXT UK. There will be more of this the following week. So I'm going to right now jump in to New Japan Strong, Road to Lions Break Crown. Welcome back, folks. Right now we're going to do New Japan Strong, the Road to Lions Break Crown. This is a brand new tournament that is made here for the US thanks to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So they already picked out 8 wrestlers that will compete in a tournament. Now, as you know, you ask yourself, is this similar to the G1? No. You see, in Japan, it's mostly in point system. This one is mostly elimination down here because it would take too long to determine. But I think there's because certain wrestling ways done in both countries are different. But I don't blame them. It is what it is. That's how it goes. But here are the 8 competitors who are set to be in this tournament. We have Danny Limelight, the young lion himself, Clark Connors, Logan Regal, Adrian Quest, Barrett Brown, Jordan Clearwater, Blake Christian, and the DKC. Now, I have to say, there are some good wrestlers that I've seen so far. I mean, look, I know I have seen both Limelight, Connor, Regal, Quest, Brown, and Christian. These guys are some of the ones that I've been following. Either one of those guys could win. But at this point, the first match of the night, they will be facing each other in an 8-man tag team match. So the first match of the night was the team of Barrett Brown, Blake Christian, Jordan Clearwater, and the DKC versus Danny Limelight, Logan Regal, Clark Connors, and Adrian Quest. So this is more like a preview type of match you normally see when it happens. You see, this is something they do in New Japan. They do a preview before the actual tournament begins. So what I thought about this match, it was kind of interesting because as you know, when tournaments like these happens and if you team up, sometimes you may never know how it's going to end. Would they work together cohesively to pick up the victory, or they will dismantle? But it was a great match to see. I wasn't sure who was going to win this one, but I'm very happy with the result. With the win, it became Limelight, Regal, Connors, and Quest. So these guys did an amazing job picking up the victory. But however, the following week, I don't think it's going to happen. It's every man for themselves for this tournament. So I can't wait to see when it happens next week. So we'll just continue on with the next match, which is another tag team. We have, in this one, Fred Rouser, formerly known as Darren Young, teaming with Mysterioso, facing off against Rocky Romero and TJ Black. So this was a very interesting match. Now, as you all know, Fred Rouser, as formerly known as Darren Young, we haven't seen him for quite a while, but there has been reports coming in prior that he was going to make his New Japan Pro Wrestling debut, not in Japan, but here under the New Japan banner, to be in this match, and I'm excited for what he's done. I mean, he hasn't seemed like he missed a step at all. I mean, but great tag team with him, with Mysterioso. I loved it. I love what they were doing with this match. He threw in a lot of powerhouses spots that I enjoyed. I mean, I didn't expect this. This is something we could have seen with him back in WWE, but it is what it is. It happened. So right now we're with that. But I love what also TJP and Romero were doing. They were throwing a bit of the offense as much as possible, but it did took a lot. There was something they were trying to do. I don't remember, but yeah, it was Rocky was trying to ensure when he noticed that Rouser and Mysterioso were about to do a double suplex or whatever off the turnbuckle. He tried to stop them, but it wasn't enough. But luckily, they were Rocky was able to separate Fred Rouser away from Mysterioso to make sure that TJP picks up the victory, and he did, and it resulted with Rocky Romero and TJP actually picking up the victory. So I'm very excited with that, with those two teams with that team working. I have to say it was a great match. I loved it. Hope we can see more of this coming up. Now for the main event, we have another tag team. We have the Gorillas of Destiny, God, Tama Tonga, and Tongaloa facing off against Alex Zane and ACH. Now, we all know that the God have been the most dominant force in the heavyweight tag team division for quite some time. But the real question, could they be able to... the question is, can Alex Zane and ACH... But man, it was a hard-hitting match. I enjoyed it. Now, as you know, ACH is not a heavyweight contender. He is a junior heavyweight contender. Alex, he seems like he could go as heavyweight, but I'm not sure what was that all about. But it was amazing what God has done. Even so, they even pulled off the Magic Killer move. They even tried to do the move that Ghetto taught them when he was a tag team specialist with Yato, and that kind of failed a little bit. But it was an amazing match. I loved it. I can't wait to see more what God is going to happen. We weren't sure if the other members of Bullet Club, such as Switchblade, Herculeo, or Chase Owens, or what's his name, Balak Fale, were going to show up, or Phantasmo. Who knows? Because we do know they haven't been in Japan for quite some time. But I can't wait to see more of this. So we will continue more with the Lions Break Crown tournament. See how that's going to go. I will keep an update on that. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of me talking, making this is actually short. I'm trying to catch up right now with the G1 Climax 30 tournament that took place already. We already started out with the A block. I think around the Japanese time, we will jump into the B block matches. From what I understand, it's going to be a little different than your standard. As you know, whenever the A block are doing their thing, they have the B block being a tag team for a preview for the following day. But it appears that's not going to happen due to the restrictions that's taking place because of the pandemic. I understand that. I totally respect it. But right now, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to review both A block and B block on one episode. That way we keep up. So right now, I haven't seen the G1 for the A block. I will do that right now. But by the time I finish editing and uploading this video, I will review this possibly Monday, if nothing gets in my way, because I will be covering the G1 constantly. I know I'm going to have a lot of work to do with the whole thing with the Wednesday Night War, Impact, and AEW Dark, and any other thing that's happening. Before I go, I will give you guys an update, something I forgot to mention earlier. It's now been confirmed that Jon Moxley will be debuting for Josh Barnett's A Bloodsport. Now, originally, Jon Moxley was supposed to be in the last one, but he had to pull out due to a staph infection on his elbow. That also cost him not to be at All Out last year to face Kenny Omega. That led to Full Gear the following months. So now we get to see this match happen, because this is going to be amazing. I think it will be him against Josh Barnett, because it was supposed to be him, but it didn't happen. I will keep an update on that. The match will take place on October 11th. Hope you guys have already got your Fight TV app and you paid for it. I haven't done mine yet, but I'm excited to see that. So right now, I must bid all of you guys adieu. So goodbye, mwah, and have a nice day.